Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. Today I am joined by Tyrone. He's an experienced entrepreneur, real estate investor, and also the founder of Property Wealth League. Tyrone's on a mission to help real estate investors strategically build portfolios that align with their goals for financial and time freedom. He's passionate about building wealth on his terms, leaving a lasting legacy, and empowering others to do the same. In this episode, we're going to dive into his journey, his investment strategies, and how you can take control of your financial future. So without further ado, Tyrone, my friend, welcome to the show. Super to have you on, man. Why don't you just introduce the audience who you are, your background, and just how you got here?
Appreciate you, man. It's honor and blessing to be here. Appreciate you guys having me. And hoping to, chop it up, share some nuggets today. But Tyrone Taylor, I'm originally from Philadelphia. Right now I'm in Westchester, Pennsylvania, which about 45 minutes outside the city. I didn't go very far. Born and raised in Philly, and actually moved out here when I came to school to go to college. And back then, I was a bit of a computer nerd, kind of coming up in the 90s. It was like during that .com era when like the Yahoos and all the big companies were getting like those billion-dollar valuations, and everybody thought like, all right, computers are where the money is. Like, I'm like, I gotta get computers. So started tinkering around on computers, and I was programming and, ripping systems down, putting them back together and all that. And ended up majoring that in college. And then it wasn't until I actually got out of school that I realized, like, all right, I'm not that passionate about programming, right? It's crazy, like, go in school, spend all that money, and it's like work my way through college, like, because I was like afraid to like take out a bunch of student loan debt, whatever else. So muscled my way through, and then realized I really just enjoy computers when I had the freedom to just build, right? And that kind of goes back to like the way I came up. I was always very like hands-on, always enjoyed like learning how to put stuff together. So computers were just that thing for me at that time. But after that, was a programmer for about a year and a half, and actually ended up getting laid off from that job in 2008. It was right after like economic downturn, and the company I was working for, they basically were downsizing. It was like last man in, first out kind of deal. They're like, look, we love having you on the team. Everybody else were like senior programmers, had been there for years. And it was like, we hope we can work together in the future, but now we got to do what we got to do. So I'm like in the dumps, like, man, I've had my degree. I thought I was on like a track of making like half decent money. And at that point kind of went on a little bit of a transition where I realized like, I don't really want to work for anybody else. Like that was always one thing that never set well with me about having like a W-2, was just somebody like controlling my destiny, right? I was always afraid of that, and like telling me what I'm worth, and I'm like assigning that value to my time, like my life, like, our time is the most precious thing we have, most valuable thing we have. And I was fortunate enough to meet a couple of guys who were scientists and engineers. One scientist, one engineer, and they both were coming out of a pharma company, and they were starting up an energy, like a renewable energy business. And it's basically designing renewable infrastructure for the food, energy, and water industries. So think like waste energy systems. So we work with a lot of big farms, food processing companies, stuff like that. So I became like a renewable energy guy, right? But at the heart of it, it was still like IT focused at the time. My operations background that I'd gotten through several other jobs and working in the IT space was like what I applied to that. So I became extremely passionate about that, did that for a number of years, and kind of fast forward to like 2014, when we had a couple of projects that we were in deep on. So we're the owners, we're developing these infrastructure projects, like multi-million-dollar facilities, and we're pretty much putting all of our capital into these things. And the goal is to get it to, get it construction ready. So it's shovel ready.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
And then our investors and our financing, our debt financing, and our investors who bring the equity come in and they fund the deal, and then we refund ourselves all of the pre-development capital, right? So we had a couple of projects go the other way, like zoning permits that didn't come through when we needed them to, and just kind of went sideways. Investors pull out last minute, so then we're kind of stuck holding the bag. And at that point, I was newly married. My wife and I were talking about having our first kid, and we're like kind of projecting, like, what do we want for our future, right? And I realized, although I now work for myself, I'm still not secure, right? My industry takes a, shifts, or if the market does something, like I'm still kind of working for myself, but it's still as unreliable as working for somebody else that, the income goes away. So that was when like my mom's voice in my head growing up, she was always telling us like, you need to get into real estate. You need to own assets. Like you got to have a backup plan. You need something to like sustain you through any storm. And, God bless her. My mom actually took me to my first real estate investing conference. I was in 8th grade, like at the Philly Convention Center, which is kind of crazy. I still remember that. So I was like, all right, I've always known that I was going to do real estate at some point eventually. Originally, I thought I would make a bunch of money in business and then I started investing in real estate. But kind of with my back against the wall, I'm looking at, starting a family. It's like, I just got to go. So spent way much more money than I could afford on one of those expensive training courses back then. They were getting people. It was 27 grand. My wife and I put on credit cards like we could not afford. And just dove head in, started out wholesaling. Took probably, I think it's like 6-7 months before we got my first deal done. And then slowly kind of was building the pipeline and rolled that into starting to flip a couple. I'm like, well, it looks like the flippers are making all the money. So let me go ahead and flip something. Flipped a few properties, and got approached by a friend who owned Remax Brokerage. She was like, look, you look like you're doing pretty solid. You guys know what you're doing. I'm starting a property management division. I'm trying to grow this division of my business so that I can manage in-house for my clients. Why don't you come on board and run it for me? And my thought was, well, again, back to that entrepreneurship, that mind. I was like, I'm interested in property management, but I don't want to work for you. Like, how do we figure this out, right? So we ended up JVing and building a property management company. So kind of dove into that space. We built that company up to we're managing about 350 units over the next few years. And then not long after COVID, my partner and I kind of had a coming together moment. And I was like, look, I got into real estate to build an asset base, like to build a portfolio, to sustain my family, like build generational wealth. And really, I'm not going to get there managing everybody else's assets. Like there's just no time left and I'm killing myself. So we negotiated an exit, sold him my stake in the company, and started buying my first deals after that. Just went heavy into just acquisition mode. And having managed several hundred units, I was very confident in like my ability to manage. So I ended up picking up 32 units that first year after we exited the company. And since then, that's our business model. We buy, we manage in-house, have a small management team. We have 5 employees, a couple of which are virtual. And we mainly focus on apartments and commercial, but also do some residential deals when they come along here and there. And just trying to help others do the same, man. It's this game's been very good to me. Had a lot of bumps, a lot of bruises, a lot of lessons, which we'll talk about, I'm sure. But I've also seen a lot of people get hurt. I've gotten hurt, but luckily nothing ever took me out. And I'm really on a mission to help other people get momentum and build something that can sustain them without being taken out of the game.
Man, your story is just incredible. I mean, the fact that you've went through so much in your time of being an entrepreneur, and the fact that you were willing to weather the storm and also realize the value that you bring to the table for yourself, and realize that time is my most important asset, right? You can have everything in the world, but if you just don't have your time and you have a family and you're just killing yourself, what's the point of doing this, right? And I think there's a huge misconception right now on the hustle culture, the fact that, you have to put in 70, 80-hour weeks and, the grind. And I do, in my opinion, I feel like you do have to make a temporary sacrifice at some point, right, in your career to get to that next level. But as far as longevity in this game, it's just not sustainable, right? So I'm interested, you seem like you just want to help people so much now because you've been through so much fire, right? Let's talk about the Property Wealth League, right? We know that you are the owner of that. So, what is the Property Wealth League and how are you helping people with that?
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
So Property Wealth League is a real estate mastermind. So it's a community where I'm helping new investors. Some guys are picking up their first deals.
Yeah.
Folks who have a few properties who are looking to scale, and everybody in between, right? It's really I'm deeply passionate about just helping people, right? And I think, my parents definitely put that in me. Like I grew up doing community service. Like my parents were always really involved in our church, like giving back to like everybody in the neighborhood. They still do it to this day. They're,
That's awesome.
70 and they're out, my mom's ordained minister. Like she goes out, she does she preaches to people and she's just like trying to feed the community. And so that is just deeply a part of who I am. I just see people who are not doing well and it touches me in a place where it calls me to do something. I can't just, I can't just keep walking by.
Right.
So it's kind of combining my love and my passion for service with like real estate. And it's like a perfect marriage for me because I actually enjoy serving people in this way. So it kind of started out, my wife, who also works in our business, she's a realtor. So she used to be a high school English teacher. She did that for 10, 11 years. And when we had our first kid, one of the goals we had was for her to be able to stay home and raise our children. We just wanted to be able to control that aspect of our kids being close to us coming up. So the goal was for her to retire. Like when we had our first kid, she got out of it, and then she got a real estate license, and then she started working in our business on the acquisition side. But that teacher heart, like that's still deep within her. She's just, she's a born teacher, basically. She just loves educating, right? So fast forward a few years, she was the training and onboarding coordinator for our brokerage. And it was an investor focused brokerage. So the founder, who's a good friend of mine, he was an investor, and he literally went out, got licensed, and then started his own brokerage for other investors to be in a place where they could just do their own stuff, right? And kind of like invest on their own terms, because that's what he was seeking originally. So he's cultivated this awesome community of investors who are all building wealth. So she was the training and onboarding coordinator. So everybody coming through, she met with them, sit down, talk to them about their goals. She's like training them, and they all want to be investors, right? So they're looking, they say, wow, you and your husband have, I think at the time we had like 30 something, 32, maybe 40 units. And they're like, we hearing about what you've done over the past few years. Like, how have you gotten to that many units that fast? And we started like having all these impromptu like coffee meetings, just helping people, right? We're just like meeting up, trying to help people get deals done. So that was like 3 years ago. And then we got to the point where we just ran out of time. It was like, this is cool, we enjoy it, but we can't keep spending all of our time doing this. We got a portfolio to look at, we got a family at this point. So we started our coaching business. We said, let's structure this into something that can be impactful and that we could serve more people, right? And we did that for about a year. It was very well received. We had folks come in, pick up their first deals.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
One of our best clients is a good friend to this day. He picked up 8 units. He was looking for a single family house. He started working with us. He ended up picking up 8 units, and it was like 8 or 9 months in, and he started no experience whatsoever, like not knowing where to start. So he's growing his portfolio. Still, I talked to him yesterday. So we were getting some momentum. And then last year, it really struck me that it needed more, right? I wanted to create a community where all these people can thrive together instead of me one-off coaching, 10, 12, 15 different people. I wanted to structure something where we brought it all together, because I found that we all learn much more from being in circles where we're also learning from each other's experiences, right?
Yep.
Like, you can go through things, and because I'm with you, I'm learning, even though I don't have to personally go through it. So you're like magnifying that experience or multiplying it. So we're like, all right, that's what we got to do. So we put the community together. It's hosted on school. And basically we have a bunch of courses in there like that we created from scratch using all live deals that we've done. There's like about 100 videos in there to take you through all facets of investing. We do live workshops 3 times a week. So Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. People who are trying to get deals done, like they bring them on the call, and I run them down real time. We're like really workshopping it. So that's most of the value that really people love about being in the group. And also the fact that we're very hands-on, like involved with each other, to the point where I was at one of my students' properties this morning, checking out a flip that they're doing. So it's like, hey, what troubles are you having? What's the address? I look at my schedule. Hey, I'm gonna pull up and let's run this down. So I'm talking with having this contractor, helping them figure some stuff out. So it's like, at where we are, I feel like we're providing a level of just support that most people don't get. And I only know that because I was that person, right?
Mhm.
I went out, I paid for all the courses, I did all the coaching stuff. Nobody pulled up on my property and was like, hey,
No.
let's sit down and game plan this, right? So that's what it's all about.
That's incredible, man. I just want to piggyback off that too, right? And how important would you say networking and also, getting a mentor, right? Hiring a mentor is in your real estate success or just overall and your journey just at all, right? I mean,
Yeah.
what advice would you have for someone, looking to build strong connections and just get their foot in the door?
It's hands down, I think, it's only second to actually making the decision,
Mm,
right? I think it's like after you decide, you know what you want to do, you're serious about it. The next best thing you can do immediately is to just surround yourself with people who are actively doing it and really also like getting really close to people who are doing it, doing what you want to do, but a few levels ahead of you,
yeah.
right? Because they've stumbled over all the, they've been in the potholes, they've hit the walls and the roadblocks, right? And they can coach you around these things. And honestly, looking back is something that I wish I had done sooner.
Mm,
I was so focused on like hustling, hustling, hustling. I'm working 7 days a week, 12+ hour days, like just going after it. Like, and I did well. I made a lot of mistakes, but I did well. Like I've done very well for myself. But I look at the mistakes I made and like the money that was wrapped up in those and the time, right, that I'll
mm,
never get back from those mistakes.
yeah.
And just knowing that there are people like just ahead of you that are more than willing to pour into you and help you avoid those mistakes. Like you're only going to grow so much faster.
Right. I could not agree anymore. Let's talk about, some of the mistakes in your journey as well, man.
Yeah.
Could you maybe just share a story of maybe, your best real estate deal that you had success in, or an investment just in general, and maybe one that just completely went sideways, right? Because I did hear you mention earlier a lot of stuff went sideways. And just ultimately, what did you learn, as far as that goes to keep persevering?
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll say my best one, or my favorite one I'll pick on, right? So I'm a value add guy, meaning like
Mhm.
I buy the rougher stuff. It's been mismanaged. Um, and that comes back from my wholesale and flipping background. Like I still buy like a wholesaler, like, is back then it was direct to seller. Now I still do direct to seller. We still cold call and all that. I have VAs, but, um, a lot of the multifamily and commercial stuff I do, I'm dealing with brokers, but I'm
Mm,
still like that wholesaler mindset still deep within me. So, um, the like the best deal or my favorite deal that I picked up it's actually two buildings kind of conjoined, so it looks like one, but it's two commercial spaces and two like townhouse style apartments up on top. So kind of pictures side by side. And I absolutely love this deal because it it just it showed the power of having vision. Like
mm,
when you just see something
yeah.
and like, wow, if I could get that at this number and I could do this, it could turn into this, right? And just sticking to your guns, because when I first saw this building, it was listed for $1 million, and I knew it was quite a bit overpriced because it had a vacant commercial unit, so one of the two commercial units was vacant, right? And the apartments were under rented. I'm like, yeah, that you can't justify that, right? And then at the time, it's right in downtown Westchester where I live. I knew like we really wanted that deal, and I said, all right, I'm gonna keep an eye on it. I set my buy price, and I said I need to get it under 800, under 900. And I said if I can get it under nine, I can make that work. Um, so my philosophy when I'm buying commercial and I buy mixed use commercial deals, I always make sure that the income from the apartments will actually sustain the buildings if the commercial spaces go vacant, right? So that's my mixed use strategy, just because retail and restaurants, like that's a lot less stable than apartments where people need to live, right? Sometimes businesses unfortunately come and go, and it takes a long time before you can release a commercial space at certain points. So deal dropped down to they dropped it down to like 950. I'm still sitting there waiting. This is over the course of like a year. Just patience, right? Then they dropped it down 925. I'm like, all right, it's go time. You kind of look at this last couple of reductions came faster. I see their motivations picking up. So I went in, we offered 860 and we kind of went back and forth and they said, look, 885 is our bottom. Then I'm like, bet, let's do it. So picked that deal up and got into it and just did what I know what to do from managing properties. I went in, had the two tenants who were in the townhouses. They were both like severely under rented. So went to them, said, look, I don't want you guys to leave. Just want you to, this is where market rent is. This is where you are. Let's meet somewhere in here. Right.
Yeah.
And that's one lesson. I think a lot of people always look to like, I got to turn units over. I got to get new tenants. Like there's a cost to that, right? You got vacancy, you got turnover, whatever you have to do to that place. If you have to like fully rehab it to get like a new person in there or whatever. So I weighed it out and I said, if I can get them halfway there, it's going to be that much more lucrative. So they agreed to that immediately. They're like, look, we know that our rent is reasonable. We can come up. So that increase was from $2,000 to $3,000. Like that's how big the gap was. Those units can go for $4,000, but we'd have to freshen them up a little bit. Man. So they came up to $3,000, right? So that's immediately creating $2,000 additional cash flow. Then we put out like a very strong marketing campaign all over social media, hitting the streets, calling brokers everywhere to lease up that vacant commercial space. And got that leased up probably like 4 months later. It took a little bit of time. So got that leased out for $2,000 initially and put that on like an escalating multi-year lease. So long story short, that building we bought for $885. That was in 2023. It's now worth about 1.6.
Wow.
And it cash flows like a you know what, man. I love it. Very easy. Yeah. Like tenants don't bother us. They're just in there. They're grateful that we kept them in. We work with them. We're making money. We're cash flowing heavy. And that's my favorite deal.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys are listening to this right now because my man Tyrone is a deal creator and deal maker. Man, that is incredible. That is something, man. Wow. I need to get me one of those now.
More like it.
Tyrone, I gotta ask you, man. I mean, if you could just give one piece of advice to somebody who wants to achieve financial and time freedom, right? You've been able to create that for yourself and you're helping other people do that right now. What would that one piece of advice be?
That one piece of advice, hard to break it down to one, man. I got to be honest. But if
break it down however you want.
That one is just to cast the vision for what you want, right? Figure out, what do you want out of this life, right?
Yeah.
I call it vision casting, right? So it's like, all right, I like envision the life that you want to live and really put meaning to that, right? For me, it's all about my family. It's all about my wife. I have 2 boys, one 6-year-old and a 1-year-old. It's all about providing the best life I possibly can for them and setting them up financially so that if God forbid something should happen to me, they will worry for nothing. Like their life will not be driven, this with them making decisions based on how much money they have or don't have. Like they will be able to live, have the best opportunities, you know what I mean? And that, for me, with us traveling the world, me just showing them new experiences, like that's my vision, right? So
I love it.
I say that because it's not easy, right? It's not going to be easy. It's going to be hard. You're going to have times where you want to give up, where you wonder, you question, is this what I should be doing, right?
Yeah.
If you don't ever have that thought, then you're not working hard enough, in my opinion, right? It does not come that easy in real estate. No. But you need that vision to keep you pushing aggressively forward, right? I've seen so many people start out with the vision I want to have financial freedom, and they pick up 2 properties and stop.
Yeah.
And it's like, financial freedom didn't stop with that second property 3 years ago. What have you been up to, right? And it's like they gave up on that vision, or it wasn't a strong enough pull to keep them moving forward. So figure out the vision, put meaning to it, and remind yourself every single day what you're working for. and you will drive through and figure it out, right? But you got to have a strong enough pull.
I love that, right? There has to be a why behind the why,
Yeah.
right? There has to be a real motive behind your work and what you're trying to do. You know your why behind your why, and I heard what it was. It's your family,
Yeah.
right? It's impacting and being able to create wealth and opportunities for the next generations to come, even after, right?
Yeah.
And man, you're
Sir.
doing a remarkable job, Tyrone, and you're an amazing human being, man. You really are. Why don't you just share to the audience on how they can work with you, man, where they can find you, because they definitely need to. So,
I appreciate that, bro. Look, you can find me. So I'm across all social channels that this is Tyrone Taylor. If you ever want to follow me, I put out a lot of content, real estate, in the world. But if you want to work with me, if you're looking for a community, you're looking for support, you are either in real estate and you're not, you want to go bigger, right? Or you've had some stumbling blocks, things haven't quite worked out the way you wanted them to, right? You're in some deals that are not that profitable, right? And you want to scale, or you're looking to pick up your first deal, like you're ready to go. That's what we do. We help you get strategized, help you get focused, figure out that why, figure out that vision. We will help you reverse engineer the path back to where you are now, and then like give you a step-by-step action plan. And we're there with you the whole way. So you can find that at propertywealthleague.com. Sorry, propertywealthleague.com, without the. And just reach out anytime, touch base. I'm happy to have a conversation, help you any way I can.
beautiful. Beautiful. Guys, you heard it here first. We will drop those links in our description as well. So again, be sure to reach out. Tyrone, it was a pleasure, man, having you on. We'd love to have you on again here in the future. I feel like we have a lot more we could talk about, honestly.
For sure.
So awesome, man. Well, wish you nothing but the best in your future endeavors, my friend, and God bless you. But guys, hope you enjoyed the show today as always, and we will see you on the next episode. Take care.
Take care.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.